What's up guys, Brad here from Piney Grove, and in today's video we're going to be using the Summit TX25H to do some grapple work. Let me show you what we're up to. So last winter I got in here and cleaned up a lot of this, cut down a lot of these pine trees, and what we're trying to do is get this cleaned up enough where we can mow in here with the zero turn, but we're not there yet. And when I was cutting those trees down and piling them up with the excavator, I made a pile right there. There's some trees laying down over there, and then there's a pile back there, and there's also some bigger logs along here. So the last time I used this, I said I like to come into the pile just like if I had a bucket on, and that just seems to work better for me. Come in from the side like this and let those bottom teeth just barely graze the ground. Just kind of push into the pile till the tractor starts slipping a little bit. Curl up just like if it's a bucket, and then kind of pinch that with the grapple. That's not too bad.
Photobombing is just fun. I know it's ridiculous, but it's fun. I don't know what he even said to the camera. He just handed me the mic. So we were moving pile A to pile B. And then at some point in time, we're going to move pile B. I'm sure there's a method to his madness and breaking stuff down, but I think he likes the grapple and the tractor, and that is one of the main reasons. Just saying. Look how pretty that is, though. The sun, the pine straw, the tractor, Bella, who just ran off. Great day. So he's figured out what angles work best to get a full grapple. Oh, you see that one piece that went vertical? Stopped him from being able to close the bucket, so he's got to go in again. Yep, just a little readjustment. That's load number 2. So over here is our big giant pile, and it is really a big giant pile of debris that we've been stacking, that Bradford's been stacking for a couple years now. This is what we just did. It's a pretty substantial mountain right there. So I think his plan is to come in here with the excavator and keep kind of picking this up and moving a little bit, get it to break down until we can burn it. See where he's at with the tractor, and I'm far away. That's a pretty substantial little mountain of tree limbs. So coming back here even further, I see that there's mini piles. There's a mini pile. There's a mini pile back there. There's the giant pile, and here comes Brad. Oh, he's grabbing the mini pile. Isn't that like some type of foul? He started one pile and now he's moving another pile. I think that should be like bad grappling etiquette maybe. Work on one pile at a time. Apparently not. I tell you what though, he's moving this, and I haven't seen anything run out yet, but I would think critters would be in there by now. Wouldn't you think there'd be some critters? Yep, moving from pile A to pile B. So that's how big the debris pile is. There's a whole lot of stuff in there, and I would shudder to think at what's living at the bottom of that pile, but I think I'm just gonna think of bunnies and cute little furry critters. Still doesn't look as big on camera as it looks in person. I mean, on person, it's really tall, but on camera, it just doesn't look that impressive. Literally looked away for a second, and then Bella was gone, and Bella went swimming. And in no time, he's got this pile completely cleaned up. And when I say no time, I'm talking like 7 or 8 minutes at the very most. But look how good he maneuvered backwards around those trees.
That came out pretty good. I got this pile moved, and I also used the back of the grapple to back drag a little bit. It's not perfectly smooth, but it's good enough for now. But we came up here to the property today to check on my dad. He was in the hospital over the Christmas holiday. Well, 7 days at least. He was like actually in the hospital, and congestive heart failure. He's okay. He's alive and well and back here in Piney Grove. But we've been trying to take care of him or visit him in the hospital, and we weren't sure if we'd be able to get up here this weekend. But they released him yesterday. and they have him home on meds here on the house here in Piney Grove, and we put in some handicap bars in the bathroom for him today, and he's all set. He's as happy as he can be. So that's a good news story here for Piney Grove. We got that squared away, and we had time to do a little bit of work. Deb's probably been telling you about these piles a little bit more. I got that one moved pretty good. What I'm really liking about this tractor compared to our Kubota tractor is it's more compact. It's shorter and narrower. It's a compact, not a subcompact tractor, and I can get in between these pines real good. But I'm gonna get back on the tractor and move a few more piles, and I'm sure Deb has lots in store for you. Well, maybe not. That look tells me maybe not.
Brad just touched upon his dad's congestive heart failure, but just to expand a little bit on that, and I'm sorry if I keep looking off, I gotta keep watching Bella. But he had gotten sick before the holidays, and we don't know if it was a flu or if it was, you know, the C word, but he had a lingering cough, and then his body swelled up. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this to watch out for your older stubborn parents, which is what we all have if we're blessed to still have them on this earth, right? And Brad and I are both very blessed that both sets of our parents are still with us. So Pop, being a stubborn man, didn't want to go to the doctor, His swelling got worse. It started at his feet, went up his legs, his hands, his face. And when it went to his face, then he finally agreed to go. He thought he'd get by with just going to the walk-in clinic, which that didn't work. So he ended up ambulance to an ER in a nearby town, and they kept him in the hospital for 7 days. So they're getting rid of that fluid. They ran all kinds of tests on him. The good news is he can be treated with meds. So we now are trying to, give him some amenities at the house to make it a little easier, because he's weaker now and he's older. So for all you folks that maybe you're gonna have your parents live on your property with you, just things to consider, right? Wider doorways, grab bars in the showers and around the potties, just things to make it easier, right? Because things can change quickly. We believe he's going to get his strength back and he's going to be fine, but it still was a sobering realization for us that they are getting older and they need more help. So if you've dealt with that, congestive heart failure, you've got stubborn parents that you're dealing with too, and you got any hints and tips, we'd be glad to hear them. Surprising how much dirt there is in here, because I know that when he dumps stuff, he shakes off the dirt. Come here, Belle. Bella, come. But see, you see how he got through those trees with no problem? Oh, he said, yeah, he said he can't believe the tractor fit. I was just getting ready to say. He went at an interesting little angle there, and he was able to get that tractor through these trees. It's very, very maneuverable, so it's very handy, and this just proves it. We're gonna probably keep some of the wooded areas on this property thick, like on the other side of the driveway back there. But I have to tell you, when I'm standing here, I love the way this looks. I like the trees and the pine straw and the shade. Just think it's still woodsy looking, but clean. This is what it looks like on the other side of the driveway. It's just thick. And that's what everything looked like when we bought it. But I really do like the clean, open look of that. This is where he got that tractor through just a minute ago, and I'm sure it looks wider in camera than it does in person. No problem for this tractor. Well, Grapple first time. If you're new to the channel and you've just joined us and you are watching the tractor work and kind of checking us out and you don't know what we're about, we are in Northwest Florida and we bought 20 acres about 5 years ago, and we've been rehabbing it to be our forever home and our forever property. This was nothing when we bought it. I mean, it was literally just trees. So everything that's on our property we have done or had done. We're a multi-generational homestead. We've gotten this far, you've realized that we've got family living on the property. We built their house before we built our own. But this year we're going to build our house. We're getting ready to build another pole barn. We're going to start haying our own hay. We tried it last year and we really enjoyed it. So now we're going to start that process as well. So yeah, that's just kind of what we're about. If you have any questions or comments or are just curious, check out some of our other videos or ask a question. We're happy to answer. There's those trees that I showed you earlier. Just no problem, just gets right in there between them. It's very maneuverable. It's very easy to get in tight spaces. And apparently it's very easy for Brad to get a full grapple first time.
We're making progress here moving these piles around, but one thing that's kind of frustrating is some of these shorter logs will fall through. And that's because when you grab into that pile, your grapple is going to get stuck on the biggest piece that's in there. And while it looks like you have a secure load, as you go along the bumps, you drop stuff. So I've been going along here picking it up. But one thing I wanted to make note of was this 25 horsepower tractor is idling. I am at idle speed or idle throttle, and I'm not using any hearing protection because it's a very quiet tractor, very quiet engine and a very quiet transmission. So I'm able to operate it mainly without hearing protection, and also I'm not revving it up. So when you see the hydraulics and the tires spinning and all that, it's doing that all at idle. So it's got pretty good power, which I'm impressed with. But we got a few more piles we got to pick up here and put on this pile. And then what we got to do with this pile is where the more green stuff is, bring that older stuff that has more dirt into it and just kind of mix it up and let it rot. I'd like to burn it, but we're not living on the property yet, and I don't want to start a burn without us being here to monitor it. Back there is the pile I was working on. There's another pile here, and I think after I get those two done and put on the pile, I'm going to call it a day. I tend to get wrapped up in my work. I'll come out here and want to do something that I think will take 1 or 2 hours, and it might take longer, but then I don't want to stop. Even when I name a stopping point, when I do those 2 piles, I'll quit. So leave a comment down below. Are you guys like that? When you get on your tractor, it's fun. You're making progress. You're seeing the fruits of your labor, so you don't want to get off of it, so you lose all track of time. Or even if you aren't losing track of time, do you just still okay, I'll just go home later. I'll eat dinner later just so I can spend more time on my tractor. Because that's the way I am.
Oh, he's going to backtrack it. I wonder if he's trying to get some of the dirt off. Maybe that's what he's doing. Move it around a little bit to get the dirt off. Or, like I said, he likes making piles. See that? Hydraulics are strong. Maybe he didn't have it four-wheel drive. Don't know. Look at me talking like I know. I don't know. I do know he's making another pile. That I know. On to the big pile. On to the big pile, sir.
All right, guys, it's all done. I got in here and removed all that debris with the grapple, and then came with the back of the grapple and back dragged or back raked it and filled in the holes the best I could. Before I go, I want to share a little story with you. Last August, my good friend Lucas Peak out at Peak's Peak Hobby Homestead, check out his channel. We'll leave the information below. But he came in here and it was his first day using our mini excavator, and we cleaned up all of the downed trees and made this pile that I've been moving today. And we also dug up a few stumps. I thought Lucas did a good job that day helping me out here on Piney Grove, but he was not happy with his performance on the mini excavator. So fast forward to the Equipment Expo in Louisville, Kentucky, and him and I met up out there, and we were walking around outside in the outside demonstration area, and they had a mini excavator and a soccer ball. And the idea was to curl the bucket and either pick up the soccer ball or pick it up and put it in a bucket, in a 5-gallon bucket. And I said, Lucas, you want to do this? This will be fun.
No, you already embarrassed me on a mini once.
Come on, man, let's do it.
I ain't doing it.
But it's all in good fun. Lucas and I remain friends, and you'll probably see him down in the comments below. If you're here today watching this video because you wanted to learn about Summit tractors or you wanted to learn about grappling, I don't know how much you learned about using a grapple. It's only my 4th or 5th time. I only have a few hours in the seat using a grapple, but I'm getting better at it. And the one thing I would say, if you're a beginner, is don't try to get it all in one bite. You're not going to be able to. You're going to frustrate yourself. You're probably going to overtax the tractor hydraulics trying to push into the pile. Go into the pile as much as you can until the tractor stops moving, and then take the top of the clamshell, the hydraulics cylinders, and close them and get what you can and make sure you have a secure load. And it's better to do that than to try to get a whole big load and then you lift it up and you drop it, or you drop half of it going to the pile. Once I accepted that you can't take a big pile like what was here and move it in 2 or 3 trips and just be patient and take what you can, it made it less frustrating and probably made me more efficient because I wouldn't waste a whole bunch of time moving things around over here. Just grab it, go, grab it and go, and before you know it, the pile's gone. Back dragging is an art into itself, just learning that, but there's some teeth on the back of the grapple, and as you back drag, you can actually pull more little roots out and also smooth the dirt a little bit. But you're not going to be able to get final grade with a grapple, so I'll get in here with a bucket or a box blade and get this completely smooth. But that's going to do it for today's video. We sure appreciate you watching. Until next time, y'all take care out there, and remember, life's short, tractor hard.